What is up everyone, Barricade here, and yes, I am back. I was finally able to get another capture card. Luckily it didn't take as long as I was afraid it would, but yes, I am back. I'm going to be talking about, obviously like I have been, Gears of War news, ideas, etc. But today I'm going to be talking about the ideas that were brought into the series by Gears of War Judgment that need to be in Gears of War 4. Basically what I'm saying is even though I hate Gears of War Judgment, you've heard me many times in my previous videos trash that game because no matter what, I will always hate that game. I'm sorry. But I will admit that it did have some great ideas that could transition into Gears of War 4 and that I kind of even wish Gears of War 3 had, because even though that game went around everything wrong, it did have some fresh ideas that could be added to the series for future titles. Basically, the first thing I can think of, the first thing that comes to mind that I really like, honestly, is the fact that you can jump off floors. Like you can jump, like if you're high, you can jump down a few floors or whatever. The thing that was kind of weird about Gears of War Judgment was that it was so vertical. Everything was vertical. You ran upstairs, you ran downstairs. The maps weren't flat as much as they were in Gears of War 2, 3, and well, Gears of War 1 as well. It was very vertical, and it was very unnecessarily vertical because in the end the cog soldiers are humans. They're not super soldiers. For them to jump off like really three stories high off a thing like the way it is in Gondola, the way you can jump off stuff like that and then be like, oh, I'm hurt, and then get up 2 seconds later and fight again, that doesn't make sense in my opinion. It's kind of silly, if you really jumped off something that high, unless you had like parkour ability and you knew how to do it, you would probably break your legs. And I doubt every single Gears of War soldier has those abilities. But the thing I do like about it is that instead of making the map so vertical, in Gears of War 4 it should still have, maps that are kind of more flat, like let's say like Thrash Ball or Academy, etc. Maps like that that are more flat, but you can jump off stuff. Because in Gears of War 3 there is certain times where I'm playing it and I gotta admit I wish I could jump off high stuff. Like the first thing that comes to my mind is in Thrash Ball when you're in the Molter spawn or Mortar spawn. If someone runs in from the top, runs from either side of the map, the stairs, and then goes into the Mortar spawn while you're in there, you're kind of trapped. You can't get away. You gotta fight them. But let's say you had the ability to jump over like the way you could in Gears of War Judgment. You could easily jump off and run straight across, the area that has the sign hanging above it and the digger spawn and run to nades or whatever. And that would make sense because that's not even that high of a drop. That's like what, like a 5-foot drop or something. If you really jumped off something like that in real life, you wouldn't even get hurt. You might stumble or something, but you wouldn't get hurt. So I think what they should do is keep the traditional style maps and keep them more flat, not so vertical, but they should still have the ability to jump off stuff. Because while I've been playing Gears of War 3, there is a few moments where I wish I could jump off stuff. I wish I could jump off that part in Thrash Ball, like I said already. And another part that comes to my mind is, imagine if you can jump off like the area like a gridlock. If you're in the handgun spawn and then someone's trying to rush in on you on the handgun spawn, you can jump off. That would be kind of cool. It would change up the whole dynamic of the gameplay because you wouldn't be able to be as cornered as easily. And not to mention the fact that campers would actually be forced to jump out of cover, and it would make it easier for you to kill them. Imagine if someone's camping in the handgun spawn. They probably wouldn't be as eager to sit in there as much if they could jump off. The first thing would probably be to jump off, and then, but if you have people waiting down, at the bottom near boom spawn or something, you'd easily kill them on gridlock. It's pretty simple. It changed the whole dynamic of the gameplay. The other thing I have to admit that I liked about Gears of War Judgment, the ideas it had, was I do kind of like how you can throw the nades really fast. It changed the gameplay of it, but I do like the traditional way where you could, hold it and spin it and stuff. So maybe if they went about that a certain way too, that would be kind of cool. And not to mention, the one thing that I really, really loved about Gears of War Judgment was the weapon, the Breachshot. I liked the Breachshot. It seemed like it might have been overpowered when they first introduced it because it was a semi-auto sniper that could get headshots with one bullet, but honestly it wasn't that overpowered. It was actually pretty dang good of a weapon, honestly, and I think it could be added into future installments of the series because it isn't really overpowered, and it actually takes kind of a bit of a skill to get headshots with it. It's not like a gun you could just run in and pop 5 people's heads off like nothing. You gotta know how to aim it. So I think weapons like that could transition to the new Gears of War games if they went about it the right way. The one last thing that I can think of that would transition into the new Gears of War series and the new Gears of War games, Gears of War 4, that I think would be awesome would be to keep the armor skins from Gears of War Judgment. That would actually be pretty cool. I said this a long time ago in a very old video, but I think I'm going to say it again because it really is a good idea. They should make it that you have armor skins for both teams. Bring back the Locust, COG versus Locust again, but make it that you can buy armor skins or unlock armor skins that are only for the Locust and only for the COG. Imagine a Locust skin where you're covered in blood and you look like this crazy, like you just ripped a human apart, you're all gory, and then there's a human skin that looks like crazy cool shiny armor or something that only a COG soldier would have. They can go about it a very good way. In the end, I don't like Judgment, and it was kind of a bad game, honestly, but it did have great ideas that could transition into the future games of the series. But anyways, guys, I'm running out of time here. If you guys like this video, please definitely hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me what you guys think. Is there any other ideas that I didn't mention from Gears of War Judgment that happened in the game that you think would transition very well in a new Gears of War game? But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and take it easy.